Okay, so the first video was about 30 minutes of introduction to the tools that I use and how I choose the colors to do my little project. I'm gonna start and show you how I created, how I put it together. And if you haven't seen my first project, here it is. We are making magnets. This is a set. Usually I do a set of magnets. There are 2.5 by 3.5 inch squares. That's an ACEO size or ATC size. ATC's artist trading cards. This is from a set of 5. That's the 5th one. And as you can see, it is shellacked with hard resin. It looks like a jewel. This is a same size, also a magnet, but these are more like a vintage style. Same idea, except that they are matte and they're not covered with resin. On the back you have magnets so that you can put it on a refrigerator, or if you want alternately you can just add a string to it, you can hang it, or you can just collect it. People collect them. Okay, for the theme of today's demonstration, I chose some I don't know what you call them. It's like vintage type for like flower seeds, I think. And I found them in one of the Graphic 45, I think Botanical, if I'm not mistaken, paper stacks. And it's perfect because it's a perfect size. It's like a stamp. It looks like a little stamp. And that's the set of 4 that I'm doing. Okay, I already cut them out of the paper stack. I already chose complementary colors. If you haven't watched my first video and you don't know how to choose complementary colors, please go and watch it. And these are the combination colors that I have for this particular one. I picked up on some purple. I'm gonna do this one. I picked up on some purple, off-white, one with a little yellowish oranges. You're gonna need some that are flat color cardstock and some prints. This was with some glitter. This is also with some glitter. It picks up on this one. Some gold glitter. A little piece of an orange one just to give it a little bit something something. This one, this one. You know, I might not use all of them, you know, and this is also a flat color. And these are my colors to use with this. Okay. In the end, after we finish doing all that, well, we're going to have a set of 4. This is the one I've done for the daisy. This is a finished one. It is not covered with the resin yet. This is just a matte finish. Okay. Okay. So the first step is to start cutting the paper, the first paper that I'm cutting are the mat boards. This is a double-side black and white mat board that I'm using for this particular project. Sometimes I use just a plain white one. Let me see if I have a little piece. Yeah, I have a little piece of just white one here. See, it's a 4-ply mat board, and it's 1/16 of an inch thick, and it's pretty hard. And I like to use that because when you put glue on these things, they tend to bend a little bit. So this one is a little bit softer, but it's okay for this particular project because I'm going to shellac it. So once I shellac it, it becomes very hard. This is good enough. So to start with, I am going to need to cut them to 3 pieces of 2.5 by 3.5 inches. And let me get the board. I already cut 3 pieces. As you can see, three and a half. I don't know why the light is not really good here. Let me see if I can move the light to the other side. It's okay. I have 3.5 by 2.5. So 1 will be my base, and 2 will be the frame. And I'm going to cut the frame now. I'm going to cut it so that I have a frame like this. See? It has a quarter inch on each side for the frame, and I'm going to cut 2 of them. I'm going to move this a little bit further down because I don't want to drop the phone again, the camera. Again, if you don't have a rotary cutter, you can just use a blade with a ruler. That works too. That's one. I'll do the second one. I like to do it this way just because it's faster. And let's cut them out of the board. You know what, I'm going to take the whiteboard out of here. It's easier for me to work on my cutting board when I'm actually cutting. Okay. Now what I do is I go around, I turn it around because I want clean edges. So you have to cut the line on both sides. Don't pull, just turn it around, give it a little bit push on the other side. Here we go, until it comes out nice and easy. Let's do the other one. Okay, so now I have two frames. I have two centerpieces that I cut out, and I have the base. I'm actually going to turn it around and have the back on the other side, this way. Now before I proceed next, I want to cut the center pieces. I'm going to take this and I want to cut the green edges off. I don't want it there. Okay. Now I want to put this on a hard cardboard paper, and let me see, happened to fit exactly. See, I didn't plan it that way, it just so happened that it fits perfectly in there. Okay. This is for this piece in the center. And now I want to put another piece that will go around it. Now this is the tricky part because I don't have a lot of room. Let me put it here. This is my composition, so I don't have a lot of room around here for another in frame, so I have to be very careful. I think something like this. I don't know if you can see. Let me turn it around. I'll turn it around so you can see. Narrow sides here, maybe a little wider here, that will work. Okay, so I'm going to decide where I want to cut it. So when I put it together, will be this towards the frame, this here in the center, like so. Okay, nice little picture. So I cut all my boards, and now I'm going to decide on what kind of color paper I want and where. So I think I'm going to use this one for the inside. And then this for the inner frame. I'm going to use this for the outer frame. Yeah, I think that will be nice. Okay, and the rest of it will be for the little decoration around it. Okay, so if I'm going to do this one for the inside, I need to cut it also the same size as the base, which is 2.5 by 3.5. Take this and I'll put this on the side. That's my 2.5 by 3.5. This is for the outer frame. Okay. I don't want to rip it off. I have to make sure that it's cut all the way. Okay, here we go. Here's our frame. This is a little leftover piece. I'll put it on the side. Okay, all my leftovers I'll take and I'll put on the side. Okay, so this is the inside. This is the frame. This will be to cover the inner frame. It's another easy way to do it. Put it aside. Okay. So this is my theme. This will go here. These are the frames. This will go in the middle. This will go here. Okay, that's the base. Here's a leftover. Now I'm going to be cutting the decoration. Now, the decorations is, let me show you. I'm talking about those things that I'm adding. See, all this. And the way to do it is I am cutting different color paper. Whatever I have left over, I'm cutting into different themes. So, let's see. I'm going to take this. I'm going to take this. And I'm going to take this. 1, 2, 3. And I still have leftover white. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to cut 1 inch square from each one. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to cut pattern paper for the inside. So let's take, I'll take this. I'll take this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I don't know where the 4th one. It doesn't matter. Let's take this one. 4. So this is, I'll show you with one, it's easier this way. If the 1 inch is here, I'm going to put this here now with less of 1/8 of an inch. Okay. I make a square. Here we go, 1. 2. There we go. So we're gonna have inside, okay, this way. The next one that I'm going to cut is going to have, it's going to be also flat color. You see this, the square inch ones were one color, and these are patterned. The one in the inside is a pattern. Now I'm going to use one color paper, and I'm going to take it and cut its it's a little bit less than 3/4 of an inch. Well, 1/16 less. See? Right there. And the reason is because when you measure the inside, if you glue it together, then you put this one is it in a diagonal this way, it will fit perfectly. That's the size that you're gonna need for the inside. And you're gonna do 4 of those. And after you do that, you take pattern paper to put inside. And you can also use some glitter paper if you want. Let's take this one. And now you're going to cut it. And if this is 1/2 inch, you take 1/16 over. Okay, so this is the 1/2 inch, you take it 1/16 over. And again, you do 4 of those, and those 4 you will put in the center here. Okay. The next one that you want to do is going to be in the middle. Okay, that one is the size. Let me put it here. I would say it is going to be something like 6/16. Am I saying it right? 6/16. So if this is a 1 inch, if this is 1/2 inch, I'm taking 2/16 down. You can maybe make it a little bit more. Sometimes I like to put it like right in the middle between the first, between this one and this one. If this line here is 1/4 inch. This is the line of 1/2 inch. Sorry, this will be 1/4 inch. This is 1/2 inch, so it'll be between those two. It's just about, that's the size. You'll go in the center. And then a little tiny one will go in the middle. The little tiny ones right there, I like to make them very colorful and to pop out, or I like to make them glittery. I usually use something that's intricate and very, very small pattern. I like this one. It has a little bit of yellow in there, which will pick up on the yellows here. See? Okay. Let me show you in close by. You see the little, it's a lot of pattern there. And this is 1/4 inch. And again, you'll do 4 of those. Okay, so after I do all that, you know, I already did a few of those. So let me just get the ones that I've done already. Done one. Two. Oops. Three. Where's the fourth one? Here's the fourth one. Okay. I already prepared them, so I have them here. Take the other ones and just put it aside. Okay. Now I have all my papers cut. Let me take the leftovers and just put it aside so that I'm working in a clean environment here. Okay, now the second, after everything is cut, I'm going to make sure that I have nice edges. I am going to pick up my crayons and color all the white edges. You see I have white edges here and everywhere. So let's start by, I want to make the edges on this one purple. So I have my purple crayon. And you just color the edges. I don't want any white to show. I do it on all of it. I do it on the frames. And also on the inside part. Okay. After you do all the frames, you can take this as well, the piece of paper, and you see the little white edge? Paint that as well. On the inside as well as the outside. And what you can also do if you like is make sure you can add a little bit more on the edge, like that. Here we go. You do those. You can choose to do it all the same color. You can do different colors. It's really up to you. I'm going to take orange for the middle one. We'll just pick up on the little orangey yellow in the frame. and the edges of the paper. And how about green for this one? Okay. The same thing. The same thing you do for these. Exactly. You take the color theme here. You take your crayons, whatever color you want to use. And color the edges. Okay. Like the green one, you don't have to do a green on the green. You can do purple on green, red on green, whatever you decide. You know, if you do a matching color, it'll just give it a little oomph. But you know, you can choose to do something else. For example, you don't have to do orange on this one. You can choose to do purple. I'll just give it a little oomph right there. I think I lost a little bit something here. It's okay. Okay, and you continue to do that on the rest of them. Now, I like to sometimes add a little bit of the glitter gel pens because It just adds a little bit of a little touch. Let's, for example, see this one. This one, let's do the purple for this one. Just the edges. See? It gives it a little glitter to the edge. Okay. Let's do this one. I don't do it on all of them. I do one here, one there. It's enough. Don't have to overdo it. It kind of frames it, and I like to frame it a little, and maybe do a little one with blue. Okay. After you do those, you can also do this one. Just give it a little bit of a glitter in there. Maybe I'll do the purple. Okay, and a little orange. Again, if you don't have glitter pens, it's really not necessary. You can do, I think my dog is like bugging me right now. I don't know what she wants. Lady, you want to leave me alone for a little bit? That's a little glitter. You can, if you have glitter that's not in a pan, you can use it. You can do whatever you like. Just add a little something. I don't know if you can see the glitter a little bit. Very light. Okay. Now we're going to glue these together, and I'm going to take my glue, my Elmer's glue, and my glue spreader. And I always say, be careful when you're using glue, don't put too much. If you put too much glue on a piece of paper, you know, it's gonna get a different effect than what you want. I just put a little bit in and I spread it around. And tuck it. Next. It's even all over. Okay, now this is a glitter paper. If I put Elmer's glue on it, it's not going to stick. This paper will fall off. So for this little piece, I have to use a different kind of glue. You can use any kind of glue that is good for metallic things. Using a little bit of gel crazy glue, it's good enough. Okay, and the last piece of paper. Had a little too much glue on it, so I'm going to just remove the excess. Do you see? When you squish it, comes out. I'm just going to wipe it. And always keep a handy cloth, a little handy wet cloth to wet my hands and my tools. Okay, here we go. You repeat the same thing with the other 4. It's in the middle. It leaves a little edge, gives it a little frame. So for those who don't know, the square within a square within a square is my trademark. And this is what I use for all my artwork. And this is also what my logo is. Okay, it's number 2. So you need 4 of those. As you can imagine, I prepared 4 already. And these are the 4 prepared ones that I made. Here we go. Now we're going to glue them all together. I'm going to put my markers away. I don't need my markers anymore. Okay. I take the base, use the spreader. Remember, we don't want too much, but we want coverage all over. Lightly press it down. I'm going to wipe my fingers because I have a little bit of marker on my hands, and I'm using a light color paper. The other side of the glue stick, see, one is spreading the glue, and the other one I am tightening the paper onto the board. Stop, lady, you're interrupting me. My dog is being like really stubborn. Okay, here you go. Okay, step number 2 is I'm going to put the frame over this part right here while this dries out. I have too much glue on there. I'm going to just wipe it out. Okay. Make sure you align it. And tighten it. Okay. Now we're going to put the 2 frames together and then put it over the main piece. Okay, you see how over here, when I painted the purple, I also made a wider area here covered with the paint. This is because sometimes when you go to fit it in, you may have things that are not aligned exactly, and when they're not aligned exactly and you have white area showing, that will be really it's not clean. But if it's painted purple, which is all the same color as all the edges, it kind of camouflages it. Okay, let me just tighten it together. Clean the glue off. Make sure I don't have excess glue. If I do, just wipe it off. You really don't want excess glue to come out. It's not going to be clean. Okay, here we go. And put it on the board. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the clips over here. Just to see to it that it's sitting nice and tight in there. And it really just needs really a minute or so. While it's doing this, I'm going to glue this one back on this. Now watch this. I painted it orange on this side here, and I also covered orange a little bit over the white area. I'm not going to put it over the black area in case you're using black and white, because then you might see a little bit of the black pop that will pop out here. See? A little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. Instead, I'm going to use it on this side because it's all painted with orange. This is because it's a light color. Little tiny considerations that makes a big difference in the outcome of how it's going to look at the end. My hands again and my tool again. Okay. And I'm going to glue the green inner frame together. Okay, and This will go on top of this. Okay, I placed it. Press lightly. Keep it together. Okay, this is good. Give this a minute. Okay. In the meantime, while this dries a little bit, okay, I'm going to show you the other items that I've done so far, so that you'll see the whole series. Okay. This is the Lily Valley with these 4. This one is finished. This one I still need to glue together as well. So let's glue this one. Here, I don't know if you can see, I have a little bit of white showing. I'm just going to go over it with my crayon and fix it. For this particular inner frame, I chose to do it a little different than the other ones. As you can see, it's more even around the edges. Versus this one that has narrower sides and more on here. Just a different way of doing it. Figured I'll show you both ways. There is no right or wrong way. It's whatever you prefer to do. Okay. And these are for the other color theme. Just try to put them together real quick. Sometimes you'll start doing something in the middle or halfway through. You're like, it needs a little something more. It's okay, stop and give it a little something more. Okay. Sometimes I even use little pieces of fabric on there. The middle one. This one. One's a little more difficult because it's a very thin paper, and once it's on there you can't move it. There we go. Okay. Okay, this one's done. Make sure that it's all nice and even and both sides are even. Put the clip in there. to hold it for a few minutes. I'll keep them together so I won't lose it. Okay, and we'll do this one now. Sure it's nice and even. When you do a large project and you need to hold something together and it's hard for you to, you know, you can't really use the clips. So a little trick for you is, if let's say this is a piece of paper and you're putting something in the middle, let's say here, okay, let's say you want to put this in the middle. Of course, if you put a clip, the clip is not going to reach this way here. It's only going to reach up to here. So take two pieces of board and put them together, two boards, one here, and clip it on the side. It'll hold it together. Just a little tip I was just thinking about right now. Okay, so while these two are drying, I am going to show you what I do with these little four little things. Okay, so I'm going to cut each one of them into 4 triangles. For that, I just use my scissors. Okay, take my scissors and I trim them. Into 4 triangles. That's one. Two. Three. 4. Now I'm going to cover the edges because the edges are white. See right there? It's all white. I want to cover this up. You have to make sure also sometimes it's not, it's gonna come apart from the glue. Just add a little more glue and glue it back together. Okay. Did this with the blue, I'll do this one with the green. Doesn't have to be perfect, just so that we don't have white edges showing. Okay. Oh, this one's coming apart. Together. Okay, I think we're done. Oh, I forgot one. Last one. My nails is always painted and black, and tell you, a crafter cannot have long nails. Alrighty. I'm constantly cleaning them. Alright, so the placement I'm going to do, first I'm going to do 4 on the edges. One. So these are the 4 from the same square. I'm going to put all 4 from the same square on 4 corners. And by the way, you can choose to do all 4 squares at the same color combination or paper combination. It's up to you. I chose not to. It's more interesting, but it just gives it a different effect if you'll do it all the same. Okay. Okay. Now I have one with the orange here. I'm not going to put this one here. I will put those on the side. I think it'll complement it more. One. One here. These I'm putting on 4 sides. Should have just enough room for 2. Okay. And now I'm going to put these actually I'm going to put this one right there, right there. put this one right there. Like so. Okay. And the last four are a bit more tricky. Maybe here. And here. Now this frame is a little lower than this, which is okay. No? And then the triangles will just sit a little bit in the diagonal. It's fine. This is fine in this particular case because we are going to add a resin, so the resin will keep it together. Okay, this one is done. Now let's do this one. I want to just make it a little faster, so I'm going to take a broad tip I'll take a broad tip crayon, not crayon, marker. I don't know why I call it crayons. Again, you can pick whatever colors you want that matches your theme. You know. It's usually, when I work with colors, I usually pick three main ones. One is the primary color, one is the secondary color, and one is a complementary color. So like for example, in this case, the primary color is purple, secondary color is green, and the complementary color is that orangey yellow, because orangey yellow is complementary to purple on the color wheel. Hi, honey. My dog is bothering me still. Maybe she wants to go outside. Just give me a second. Okay. goodness, my craft area is close to the back, actually it's a side yard, and I can just open the door and let them out, and I can still watch them from here. I have two small dogs. They're Japanese chins, not a very common breed, and I absolutely love them. They're happy little things, and I'm lucky that they're not big enough to jump on the table and create chaos. I can still leave my craft table here. I just have to take all the chairs and everything away from it so that they're not going to jump right on top of it. Okay, so which ones do I want to use for the center, for the corners? Let's use this for the corners. Okay. I'm just rushing through a little bit because it just takes a little too long for a tutorial. We're going on an hour and 30 minutes. Considering the first one I've done, which is adds another half hour, it's a little long, but unfortunately my works just take a long time. To do a set of 4 or 5 of those can take easily all day. Okay. Okay. Etc., etc. Okay, I'm gonna stop the recording now. As you can see, this is basically what we're doing here, and I'm gonna finish the other two, this one and the other one, and I'm going to take another video of doing the resin coating. Okay. Oh, and doing the magnets as well. So stay tuned for the third video.